So the topic is controversial deities. And I'm going to talk a little bit about controversial deities, but I'm not going to go into too much detail because really we're talking about not so much about the deities, but we're talking about politics of the day. So for a brief overview, we can really talk about controversy from the time that Atisha was invited to Tibet in the 11th century. And he was invited by a lord or a king named Yeshe. And at that time, the Buddhists in West Tibet, they really did not like Tantra very much at all. And then they actually had lists of sort of banned practices. And on that list, we could find Hevajra, Chakrasamvara, Vajrayogini, many of the very common deity practices that you find in the Gelug, Kagyu, Sakya, Jonang traditions. Now, after that, during the time when the Sakyas were first up and coming, same time as the Kagyus, sort of pre-Jonang, pre-Gelugpa, at that time, the Sakyas used to come under a lot of skepticism, a bit of abuse, because they were still practicing Vajrakila, which had come down through the Kun family line from the times of Padmasambhava and Trisung Detsen. There are certain Nyingma practices which the Kun family maintains within the Sakya tradition. And this was looked upon as being a very bad form because clearly these Nyingma practices were bad and nobody should be doing them at that time. Of course, not too many decades or a century later, then the Vajrakila practice was adopted by most of the different Kagyu branches as well. Then at the same time as Sakyapandita, we have the deity Burkum Kuta. Burkum Kuta was also thought to be not a correct deity. And I don't know the reasons for that, because we do find the Sanskrit sources. But there was some controversy over Burkum Kuta. Now, in the late 18th century, there were some political problems between the Panchen Lama that passed away, his younger brother, the 10th Shamar Rinpoche of the Karma Kagyu, and there was controversy when politics going on with Nepal between the Tibetan government and also with Beijing and China. So the 10th Shamar passed away under some unusual circumstances. Then the Bun religion and supposedly the abbot of Menri Monastery saw that the 10th Shamar Rinpoche, because he died in some controversial, difficult circumstances, then he became a demon spirit. So the abbot of Menri, this Bumpo monastery, Menri Monastery, the abbot at the time subjugated the 10th Shamar and made him a protector, a worldly protector of the Bun religion, and named him Trokpa Sengye, which is very unusual because Trokpa Sengye is also the name of the first Shamar. So also Trokpa Sengye looks very similar in appearance at that time to the Sakya form of Dorje Shugden, who is called Dorje Shugden Tanak, riding a black horse, wearing monk's clothes, riding a black horse. Trokpa Sengye usually is riding more of a blue horse, though. Then we get some controversy with Nechung Chogyong, who's like the minister to Pehar Gyalpo, though again a worldly protector. And then the Nechung is this oracle minister figure that takes over a monk and then prophesies about things in the future. So this is controversial with some groups as to why Buddhists who primarily or should only be worshiping or propitiating for meditational reasons wisdom deities, why they are involved with worldly deities. So that's an issue. Then finally, the most controversial in our time is the Dorje Shugden, which has really become a problem in it's in the 20th century. We really don't see much controversy prior, because we didn't have a lot of people practicing it, and we have next to no art representing it. So these are really just a few of the controversial deities, but and they all have fantastic stories. And there are more, but they're a little bit more obscure, and they don't appear in art very much.